What is up, everyone? Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. So today, it was supposed to be possibly our first day of snow in my area. I know a lot of other places are already knee-deep in this stuff, but nothing for us yet so far. It's been cold. It's been cold enough, more than cold enough, the past few weeks. It's about 32 degrees F, 0 degrees C this morning, but we're up closer to 40 now. So it's nothing going to happen here locally by me. And so I'm going to head north. I'm going to head farther north and see what I can see up there. Check out this area. I know it looks like a lot of traffic, but it's a very small road that cuts through these incredible red rocks. But it's a main artery to kind of get back and forth between two main areas of the town. So it gets kind of busy through here, but it feels like you're out in the middle of nowhere. But I'm gonna head about 2 hours north. I'm just on the quest to find snow today. Today's Thursday. I still got Friday and Saturday to mess around, do some cooking, get back out. So over the past month or so, I haven't been posting. I just kind of taking it easy. I've been going out every weekend, but just without my camera. I'm in the 80 series again today, going old school. Last weekend, I went up to an area called Jerome. We were up at over about 7,600 feet, then dropped down to the town of Jerome, and then took this incredible trail that was rocky and super steep and hilly, and I was leading a pair of Jeeps and a 4Runner through in my old 80 series. I was like 25 years older than everybody else with the vehicle age, and man, did it perform incredibly. Exactly how I built it to perform, it performed. And it was really, really fun. We were out so long that we were still on the trail at 6 o'clock at night, which is, it's totally dark by 5:30 right now. And being way out there on a hilly, rocky trail, it was pretty dang fun. The one thing I haven't done on this car yet, and I guess I'm not a huge, not that I'm not a huge fan, but lighting, like all the external lights and everything that I've seen some vehicles with like 10 lights on them, but all I have is the old 97 headlights on this bad boy, and it was pretty tough to see out there, although it was almost a full moon. So the big mountain cliffs that were next to us, it was like this weird optical illusion that you could see they were kind of lit up, but the trail where my headlights were was really dark because we were down these canyons. It was really fun. It was really fun. And then I had to climb up and over that giant mountain at about 8 o'clock at night with these headlights. It's one of those windy, zigzaggy roads. You got to really watch out for deer and cattle and all kinds of wildlife. But climbing hills in the old 80 with the, what I considered an underpowered engine, man, after the re-gearing, this thing it's as perfect as it can be as far as power goes. It really is operating good. So I'll catch back up with you guys when I got about an hour and a half before we see anything different. So well, I made it up here. It's just right now there's some patchy snow on the ground, just a little bit. I don't even know. It looks like it probably fell on another day. It's definitely overcast up here, and probably going to get some snow later today. But check out this view. Underneath that layer up there, oh, it's a bit breezy and chilly up here. Underneath that layer, I can actually see about, shoot, I don't know, a long way, 30, 40 miles maybe. See the big mountains in the distance, which are getting close to New Mexico border. They're pretty far out there. I can see them like underneath this ridge here of clouds. So pretty cool. The only thing is, coming up here, when I got kind of in the region where I normally see nobody, especially on a Thursday, I started seeing Ford trucks, Chevy trucks, Ram trucks, and like, wait a minute, it's some kind of hunting season. And then I came in on the clay roads and I started seeing these big camps set up. Like, this one had like probably 4 big of those tarp garages set up and probably 10 trucks. And then not too far back down this hill here, I'm up on, kind of went to one of the peaks in the area. There was a huge hunting camp set up down there. So I saw a guy walking along the road with a bow. So it's definitely bow season. I haven't heard any shots. I don't know if it's just bow season or what, but it's the, what is it, the last day of November today? So I'm not sure what season that is. I didn't look it up before I came out here. Kind of hard to see with this camera, but if you look in the background over here, this drops down to a big, huge valley and a meadow down there where I come through, and I come through from the mountains over there. It's pretty cold. It's pretty cold. My hands are actually, because the wind is blowing across, so it's probably 30 degrees maybe, but with that wind you get a bit of wind chill. So I think what I'll do, I don't really like recreating when people are trying to hunt, because like I'm up here in the middle of nowhere, and this might be where, and at the top of the mountain, this might be where people are setting up. I don't really want to disturb, you know, what they're doing. Obviously, if I'm just driving around, I'm going to be disturbing the wildlife. So I probably won't spend too much time up here today. What I'd like to do is continue on this trail. It's a nice big loop, rocky trail on the side of the cliffs, staying on the ridges all the way around and kind of get back out instead of just going back down to the clay roads. But it's beautiful. It's so, other than me talking, it's so quiet. Get some sounds from the clouds a little bit, like echoing, you know, reflecting back down. But it's incredible. It's incredible out today. Really looking forward to the winter. I love winter. I love winter, you know, snow wheeling. But right now, like, being that it's 30 degrees and there's just a hint. I mean, look. See, little burnt area here. There was more snow on the ground at the lower elevation as I was coming up here. It's pretty patchy up here on the top of this peak. Well, it's the next day, so I'm back at it. I watched the weather all last night, and it was raining pretty hard at my house, off and on. And as I was coming back south from the mountains up there, I saw just huge cloud systems hovering around my local mountains. So I was hoping for snow up in the mountains. So here, like, I'm around 5,500 feet at my house. I climb up to just over 7,000 up here. So it's not as high as where I was yesterday. But I'm hoping to see a little bit of snow up here. There's still a lot of clouds. The ground is pretty wet from rain. So I'm hoping there's not too much mud. Mostly like, you know, just that really thin layer of snow. It's like, whatever. Snow fell. I grabbed the GX470 today. I was going to take it yesterday, honestly, because it was a long drive. But I've been putting the 80 through its long distance paces, you know, as far as comfort goes and all that. Plus, I didn't feel like putting the shovel and traction boards on the roof of this. They stay in the garage until I need them. Yeah, laziness. Starting to see a little bit of snow. I did see there are some cabins up here to the other side, different way than I go, but some of them came down with, you know, snow on their hood and on their roof, so it definitely snowed a little bit. We'll get up into the mountains and see what we got going on. All right, so bear with me. I know this isn't much, but here we go. So there's a little bit on the ground, not much. The last time there was snow up here and that I was in it, it was probably 2 feet deep last winter. It was such a great winter last year. Actually, up north where I was yesterday, it was too good. It was like 6 feet or something. Like, I was able to go early on, like through late December all through January, but after that the big snows came, like the same ones that peppered the Sierras in California, and it got up to about 6 feet, and the snow plows, you know, pushing the snow, they blocked all the trails, and even if you could get through, it was so deep that it was, you know, like I said, 4 to 6 feet in most places, and that's undrivable. Obviously you can get 2 feet is about the limit, because that really comes up to your bumpers, you know, and if it's like that, you're running into a wall. There's still some clouds around that, I mean, theoretically could drop some snow, like this one over here. There's a few. It's actually really nice. It's 38 degrees right now according to the dashboard. I brought this is kind of my sweatshirt, hooded sweatshirt that's really warm, but I usually wear this when I bring my canvas jacket, which is back there. I bring my canvas jacket, over jacket, when it's going to be cold or windy, and it works pretty good. But right now at 38, man, and the sun's out here, it's beautiful. I did bring some food. I brought a couple, we got a little packet from Walmart, had like 4 little tiny steaks in it, little ones, little fellas, and it was cheap, so I brought 2 of those, and brought a little bit of corn, a little bit of green beans, and I brought my favorite fruit, which is a story in itself. Asian pears, but I brought one that's named butterscotch pear. It's exactly the same. And it's funny, on there, they actually describe how they grow these things. They cover it with a parchment bag, like it's grown inside a bag, a parchment bag, you know, like parchment paper. And I don't know if it's like to seal in juices to protect it, because always the outside are completely perfect. And I'll show you, they even usually come with a slide over padding little wrapper that they have. And they're not cheap. They're I say on average they might be like $5 each. I've seen them between $3 and $6. But we found this one in a 3-pack called butterscotch pears. So we'll take a look at that. The higher up I went, got a little more chilly, and here I'm exposed to the valley. Before I was in between mountains up here, but lot more snow on this side. It's a north facing hillside here. I mean, it's just the first little bit of the year, so I just like to see it. I talk about this a lot. You know, I take a lot of these trails, and really I don't need any kind of map. I know all these trails. I know them from the look of the surrounding trees and everything. So, but as soon as you can throw on like snow on the ground, and it makes it like it's a brand new trail. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. So there's some kind of funny little noise coming from the front here. And I went underneath it last time, and I haven't been able to diagnose what it is yet. It's making the sound of like a loose sway bar, like clink, clink. It's only when I hit a bump and it comes up, you know, I get movement. I double-checked the A-arms. I double-checked, looked at the shock, you know. You get a broken shock on these, though, you know it, because it's like, it's a coil over. Could be the front sway bar. You know, like one of the end links is loose or something, or the bushing is worn out. It's very slight. So that's why I'm not really sure what the heck's going on. I don't like noises, like odd noises. You know, you get wind noise, rattling from all your crap in the back or something like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about some mechanical clunks that you don't know what they are, because you're going to go out in places like this. You got to be sound, that everything's going good. Green beans, corn, steak. Mmm. Green beans could have been a little warmer. I cooked them first. Mmm. It's not bad for 4 of these for like $6 at Walmart. Not the best, but it's pretty good. It's definitely dropped in temperature. It was like 34 when I pulled up here. And I'm getting dripped on by the trees. Ooh, that's warm. I like corn, I like green beans. I actually like corn on the cob. I'll be doing some this winter. Well, it's like whether you can get the corn or not. But if I can get corn on the cob, I'll do it on the charcoal pit. And oh, it's so good. It comes out so good. It's ridiculous. It's like you leave it in the husk, and the husk steams it. And it's so juicy that you don't need anything. No salt, no pepper, no butter, no nothing on there. It's so good. It's one of my favorite barbecue things is corn on the cob right on the grill. All right, so it's time for dessert. So this is what it comes wrapped in. Oh, dude, did I make a giant hole in this thing? So it's like a padded, you know, little blankie. I washed it, put it in a paper towel. So Asian pear, right? This is what an Asian pear looks like. But this one is called butterscotch pear. And I'm gonna tell you if it tastes different. So these are, like I said earlier, they grow them inside of parchment paper. Yeah. It's the same thing. So an Asian pear and a butterscotch pear are the same thing. So if you've never had one, I'd like you to try one. They're expensive. Like I said, they could be upwards of $5 each. So just buy one, share it. So they have the texture and the consistency of an apple, right? Listen. Kind of crunchy, like crisp, like a good apple. You know how pears can be kind of mushy and soft. This isn't. It's got the flavor of a pear, but also almost like a honeydew melon, some kind of sweeter melon to it as well. It's so good. It's definitely my favorite fruit, but I don't have it very often because of the price. Oh, it's so good. And it's ridiculously juicy. I like to cut mine. I don't eat it like an apple, but you definitely can. But something this expensive, you kind of want to savor it. Every bite. I can tell you, this butterscotch pear was cheaper than a normal Asian pear. And the Asian pears are a little bit, maybe a little sweeter, maybe a little bit more pear taste. But if you can find these, I don't know if we got these at a Sprouts, at a Walmart, or at a Fry's, like a Kroger. Keep an eye out. This actually came in a 3-pack. 3 of them. They have the padded stuff in there. It's like really fancy, right? Hot. Ooh, dang, it's still hot. I usually douse a little cooler water in there, but in the winter you want well, it's not actually winter yet, right? I think today's December 1st. Today is December 1st, so it's pretty cool. You know, yesterday, I didn't show you any of the hunter camps, but they were everywhere. And not only that, the roads, like the roads, there's a dirt track right here to get in here. They were just everywhere, passing me, behind me, in front of me. Big, the Super Duties and the Chevys and the Dodge Ram trucks. It's so funny that like 90% of those hunters out there were driving one of those 3 trucks, and then I saw some Tundras and a few Tacomas mixed in. But it was, when I got home, I looked it up, and it said, it's very confusing to a non-hunter. There's something called like third rifle, second rifle. Anyway, it was supposed to be like, it's only like 4 days, 3 or 4 days. It looked like it was the middle of 4 or 5 days of second rifle for elk, because that's the elk area up there. And it was like the first or second day for mule deer. I'm pretty sure that's what I read last night, but I can't be certain. Anyway, and it was like something to do with bows as well. I think bow season lasts longer or starts sooner because it's more obviously of a sporting challenge to hunt with a bow. So that's pretty cool. But my point is, today I've seen nobody. So there's more snow here than I saw. I'm only say maybe 7,000, maybe 7,100 feet here, right? I was up over 7,500 yesterday. Drove 2 hours to get there, covered with everyone, for hunting season, and not a lot of snow. I go into my local mountains, 7,100 feet, about say a half an hour to get all the way up here. More snow here than there was up there. So sometimes you never know. I remember back in California, there was 2 different mountains where you could go skiing and snowboarding. There was Mountain High, which was the closest, quickest to get to, and it was lower. Then you had Big Bear with Snow Summit and Bear Mountain or whatever. And it was funny because you'd always think the best snow was always over at the higher elevation, but it's not always necessarily true. It really just depends on how the storm comes through. And this area here, it doesn't get crazy. Up there where I was yesterday, that's where it gets super deep. It's right up by Flagstaff. It's in between Williams and Flagstaff. And Flagstaff, it's actually dumping. I don't know what it is about that corridor there at Flagstaff, but man, does it get some snow. Like, it's snow there already. I don't know if they have maybe 6 or 8 inches there from yesterday. But this up here gets just enough. Sometimes this gets a little bit muddy here, but it's not clay. This isn't clay here. There's a small clay area, but mostly this is just like sandy dirt, rocks. So it's pretty fun here, and it's close. Come back to reload on some coffee. It's definitely chilly standing here cooking. That's why I doubled my jacket up. Still, my nose is cold. My hands are a little chilly. I did bring gloves and everything, but we're not there yet. I find that when there's actually snow on the ground, it seems to be warmer. It gets frigid cold here when it's clear. So the Lexus is doing good as usual. There is some kind of strange rattle. It's weird because I was hitting like bumps intentionally on the left side and the right side, pretty big ones, and it wasn't making the noise. Then when I was on the flat and the whole car, it almost sounded like a drive shaft rattling. It was pretty loud. It's hard to identify, hopefully, and I don't have any kind of lift. On the 80 series in the Jeep, I can just roll underneath there with those creepers, the roll around. But on this, you have to jack it up because it's not that high. But what the deuce? Dang, okay, so that's a Should be a 30-06 or a 30-30. Oh, I came. Oh, it's a Winchester 270. Somebody shot here. It's just one. I'll pick it up, and I don't reload or anything, but I'll pick up the brass. It's definitely really shiny, so I make sure that that's not here, because I don't want hunters and shooters to get a bad name. Always clean up after yourself, and if you find other people's crap, pick it up. You know, some people are like, I don't, if they're not going to pick it up, I'm not picking it up. Well, it'll just ruin it for everybody. It's not like you can chase them down and give them the old what for, you know. But if you see it, pick it up, because, God, like one piece of paper, like a, McDonald's wrapper or something. Out here, it's usually beer cans. We're out in the rural area, and, I'll see a beer can shining. I'm just like, come on. I know what it is. They're drinking and driving out here off-road. And instead of crushing it and keep it in the car, they want to get it out of the car. So they chuck it out the window. I just don't even have that, like, in me. Like, I feel guilty pouring water out the window, like at a stoplight or something, just water. And actually, by law in the United States... It's the weirdest thing. The only two things you're allowed to throw out your window, I think we talked about this a few years ago, is water and feathers. You don't think that law was made up back when they used to haul chickens around and the feathers would be going everywhere? They actually made a law saying feathers and water, something like that. How ridiculous. Oh, Lordy. I'm feeling really good about snow. Look, I've been uploading. I should have in this video showed you a little bit of stuff I was doing. So I still go out every weekend, but sometimes I just don't want to take the camera, because I just want to blaze a trail. Showed you a little bit here where you're just going, you're listening to music, and for the camera, it's not really... You're just looking out the windshield like I am, but I'm actually driving, so I get the enjoyment of off-roading. And sometimes I just don't want to do the camera. The transition through fall, usually I'm a little burnt out after summer, and I want to get prepped for the winter, and that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But last winter, I went out every weekend. I was making videos every weekend. I love using that charcoal grill. It makes me stay out here longer at a campsite, because you got to prep it, you cook with it, and then you got to, let it burn down. And when it's snow, I can dump it in the snow and dump water, and it's pretty good. But that charcoal stays burning for a long time. It's natural charcoal, not briquettes. It's regular wood charcoal. Pretty cool. Well, I'm going to sign off here, you guys. The lighting is weird. I can barely see myself, but it's about 34 degrees right now. Basically no breeze, no wind, no nothing. A little bit of snow around, clouds, and I love it. It's so good to be back out here talking to you guys. Like I said, I've been out here, but I haven't been talking to everyone. So, all right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed it. It was good talking to you all again. I'm looking forward to a nice solid winter here, and a lot of good cooking and off-roading in the snow. Thanks for watching, everyone.